Some of you may have heard about it show, and some of you may not have heard about it show. Anyways, today we will be talking about and bringing down a show called Bad Market, which is also produced by the lead actor in the show, Vince Vaughn. Basically, I will try to tell you in the best way possible how Bad Market could have been so much better. Start with the story itself, where I feel it is not good enough. It is pretty thin, so to speak. The intrigues are also not good enough. If we start by breaking down the story first, it is about this relentless kind of dinosaur cop that manages to be both arrogant, sleazy, and a bit funny at the same time. The base of the story is that he finds this hand in the ocean, which is actually cut out by the man himself. A guy that does anything for his wife, which is kind of strange in itself, but if we talk about it, he has a character played by Vince Vaughn, and we have to talk about him. Vince Vaughn basically just plays himself, but he really does not do anything other than playing the standard role. He has a character itself. He is kind of decent, but I do also feel that he could have played his role in a different way, to go more out of the comfort zone. But then, of course, it could not have been about this cap that can't just let it go, which this show is basically all about. A second problem is the relentless voiceover in this one, which at times becomes very boring and overbearing because it is there so much. Given that the storyteller is actually also a character in the show, it makes sense that he is also a storyteller in a way, because he is also the father of Yancy, but not least, there are many times you could have toned it down, instead of giving a voiceover before a scene or anything, because most of it is not very interesting. Another thing which we need to address is the problem with too many characters. A lot of shows have these problems nowadays. But you got Neville, Egg, the Dragon Queen, Yaya, the Scribblings, Rosa, Yancy, and Manny. All these are main characters in a way. That's the reason why the times can be a bit massive when you try to bake in some of the stories at the same time. But if you had to cut out some of those characters, you could easily have told the story in a better and a deeper way, instead of doing a half-assed job with too many characters, which absolutely happens in the show. Although, of course, you see a lot of different stories, it becomes a tale that is weakened, because you can't tell all these stories good enough. There's also too much episode variation and standstill. A lot of the time after those first few episodes with his hand and the confrontations with the striplings, it does not actually happen too much in the episodes, especially towards the end, when Yancy basically first can't let it go again, and then it decides to form different plans, some good and some bad, to make the striplings pay for what they have done. What I mean by that is that it may feel a bit tense in the beginning, but as more and more characters come to the fore, it just results out like a bad soda. So what I would have done is actually just make it happen much more all the time, instead of all that standstill. The show also showers itself with too much emotion. There's basically emotion between everybody. Yaya and the Dragon Queen and Asia, Yancy and Rosa, which end up like lovers. You got this police guy that has to be gay because of inclusion, of course. Of course, also the thing with the destructive body, which is like a modern version of the Bonnie and Clyde woman. She also has some sort of emotional bond with Yancy. Also, of course, the one between Yancy and his father. All this emotional talk just does not do us anything good and becomes boring in the long run. So for me, more violence and less emotion would have been good, because you got some violence, but not nearly enough. In this, if you compare it, for example, to the first two seasons of Barry, which might just be the best crime comedy show I've ever seen, but only in those two seasons. There are some funny moments, there are some violent moments, but not enough. You of course share some laughs about this random pilot guy, about his banter with the neighbor that tries to get his house sold, but is interrupted by Yancy all the time, the fish hook that the one-armed man gets planted in him, and when Yancy has his stupid plans and they all go astray. But by and large, you are never entertained enough. And for me, at the end, I feel as though I might even just fizzle out to a 5 out of 10, because there's so much stuff here that is so deep and unimportant. It started out with an interesting tale about this hand that was found in the ocean, insurance scams with the striplings, and there was a lot of drama there. But then it ends up with a show that is just battered in love and emotion, when it could have been so much better if you just found a round balance between crime and comedy, which this show never does.